Hey again, everybody. Jim Faulkner talking to you a little bit more in depth regarding Homework 11, the Note Taker app. You probably just saw my video walking through the UI and kind of how the user would walk through the application. Going to spend a couple of minutes here now talking to you about how we make all this work on the back end. So front-end code was already provided to us. So you see these two HTML files, style sheet, and then the front-end JavaScript. That handles everything that the user sees and that the user actually physically is going to click on. What we were focusing on with this assignment, since it was in regards to Express and servers and Node, is just the back end and how we make everything work behind the scenes. So that's really all I'm going to be talking about today. You see we're using a few dependencies here. Only one that's not built in is Express, of course, because that's the language that we're writing all of this in. And you'll see the path file system and util come into play here shortly. After that, I do want to promissify a couple of different processes, the read file and write file from the file system. So you see that right there. It's just going to make everything a little bit cleaner as we're doing get and post requests here in a little while. Finally, we just set up the server. We create our port. We ensure that it can talk to Heroku as well. We ensure that the JSON is going to work out the way it's supposed to, and then have the static middleware here just so that the page can pick up any static files, like the style sheet, for instance. The CSS would not be able to be viewed if I did not have this middleware installed. So that's kind of the setup. And so as far as routing goes, there's three API routes. The first one is GET. Pretty straightforward. We're reading the db.json file here, which is where all of our info is housed. We're converting that into an array and into a format that will look pretty on the web page. And that's how we view each individual node, like you saw in my previous video. After that, post request. First, probably third or so of this is really similar to the GET request. So we're reading everything again. We're pushing everything into an array again. But we also have this new note here, which is the request body. And essentially, we're going to add this in to the array of notes that already existed. And then we're going to return that, and then we're going to write that file back to this db.json right here. So we're kind of appending without appending, if you think about it. We're not deleting, we're not appending, we're overwriting, so to speak. And so that's what happens when we post a request, when you're able to see the new note populate there over to the side. Finally, the delete request, which is not really a delete request. So this ID that I created up here for posts, that's how we target which note we want to delete. And you see we define that right here. And then again, same thing. We're going to read the file. We're going to read the JSON file. We're going to turn it into an array. We're going to cycle through. And instead of finding the one we want to delete and deleting it, we're going to find all of the ones that we do not want to delete. And we're going to push them into this new array here called new notes data. And then once we have new notes data, we return that down here, and then we're going to write that into the db.json file, which will overwrite what we already had. So deleting without deleting, yet another way, right? Outside of that, HTML route. So, just to ensure we get to the notes page, and then the asterisk there you saw, that allows us to type anything we want to in the address bar besides notes, and it'll direct us to that home page, to that index. And that helps with typos and things like that, ensures that the user can get to the right place. And then finally, we just we set our server up to listen, and we're ready to go. So that's really all there is to the back end of that. Pretty simple and straightforward. And thanks a lot for watching.